Welcome to Morning Sips with Rev Melissa. I am Rev Melissa, and I am thrilled to be with you all. So let's jump right in. And I just want to say a word about our foundation of spiritual practice. So just to recap, right? What's our foundation? Our foundation is doing our morning practice every day, spending time with ourselves every day before we go out into the world. And some of the feedback I've been getting is, well, I do it, later on in the day. Do your spiritual practice. That's the most important thing. I'd rather you do it whenever you do it during the day than not to do it at all, right? So your inspirational reading, your journaling, and your meditation. And so just a word about journaling. So let's shift our journaling to inspirational journaling. So that's a match with our inspirational reading because we want to elevate ourselves, right? So there's a time and place for other types of journaling, but for our spiritual practice, we want to be in an inspirational space. So inspirational journaling is what we're calling forth in our spiritual practice. So what is it that you want to express in the world? What is it that you're desiring to experience in the world within yourself? What is it that you want God to missing my words. What is it that you want God to manifest? What demonstrations do you want in your life? Write about that. Write about that. So let's see. You can write about your takeaways from your inspirational reading, right? How did that make you feel? What thoughts did that stimulate within you? So inspirational journaling and your meditation, okay? And so what we added on this week is the law of thinking, spiritual practice as thinking as a spiritual practice, right? So all this week we've been binge watching our thoughts. We've been checking in with ourselves, and it's all about developing and strengthening and knowing that we are consciousness and that we are connected to the consciousness that is the universal consciousness, which is God, which is spirit, which is source, which is creative, which is intelligent mind. Whatever you like to call it, it is. Whatever you call it, it is. Yes? So the all in the all is the consciousness that we are from, that created us, and that is the consciousness that we use to create or to co-create what it is that we want to manifest in the world. And the wonderful thing is, we don't have to create anything because it's all there. We just need to tap into it. We just need to use the power. The power of God is there for us to use. So we don't have to come up with power. Like, if you think you need to come up with power, I'm telling you right now, set yourself free because you do not need to come up with power. God is power. Use the power of God in your life. So I want to read this morning from one of my favorite books. And every book I pick up and read, I say it's one of my favorite books because it is. It is. So this one is Practicing the Presence with Joel Goldsmith. I think I read The Infinite Way last week by Joel Goldsmith. So this is Practicing the Presence. So this is what Joel has to say about consciousness. Every issue of life is determined not by external conditions and things, but by consciousness. The consciousness that formed the body in the beginning is the consciousness that maintains and sustains it. God gave us dominion through consciousness, and this consciousness, which is creative principle of our body, must also be its sustaining and maintaining principle. So consciousness is what we're plugging into, right? Once we catch this principle, we shall have caught the entire principle of life. Consciousness is the principle of life. Consciousness is the alignment with the one principle of life that is God, that is creative. Let me just read Joel Goldsmith. Okay. Once we catch the principle, we shall have caught the entire principle of life. Literally, the kingdom of God is within us. Literally, the law of life, the substance, the activity, the intelligent direction of life is within us. We have only to prove this in some one direction, and we shall have proved it in every direction. So it's all one thing. You prove it in one area of your life, it's going to work. It will always work. So you can prove it over and over and over again. The whole secret lies in the word consciousness. As intellectual knowledge of the fact that God is all is of no value. The only value any truth has is in the degree of its realization. So knowing that God is all is of no value if we don't use that knowledge, use that intelligence in our lives. So that's the invitation, to allow ourselves to use the consciousness of God in our lives. Because we are the individualized expression of God consciousness. So you don't have to figure this out and have willpower and, all these things that we put on ourselves that makes it a struggle. We don't have to struggle with this. God is consciousness, and we are the individualized expression of God's consciousness, and we can use the power of God as the source for creating the life that we desire to have. It is so perfectly designed, and we can prove it over and over and over again. So if there is something, let's say you want to work on your finances. Let's just say that as the example. So the consciousness of prosperity is the consciousness that we're tapping into, right? And we know that God is prosperous. And so if God is prosperous, we're prosperous. So using that consciousness and using our spiritual practice, our law of thinking, inspirational reading, journaling, meditating on that consciousness will support us in having our yes. Yesterday I asked, what is your yes? What is your yes that you want the law to say yes to? Because the law is always saying yes. No matter what it is, it's saying yes because it's impersonal. It's impersonal. It's working, it's working, it's working. So this is the invitation. This is the opportunity. Yes, we are the children of God, Pastor Albert just said. So we can do all things through Christ that gives us strength. Absolutely, Pastor Albert. Absolutely. So what are you sipping on today? What consciousness are you sipping on today? Make it the consciousness of God. Make it the consciousness of life and life more abundantly. Peace and blessings, and enjoy.